Hey, welcome back to Montana. I want to talk a little bit about preparation for a pandemic. I don't even know if this video is going to get monetized or not, but things are starting to seem like they could get serious. I mean, if we're going to look at the history, if we're going to look at the way things are taking off in the rest of the world with up to 28 days incubation period, it could be another couple weeks before we see things happen. And the fact that we're already seeing in the past couple of days a few cases that have no traces show that the virus is already out there and lurking. Just do your own research. There's a lot of great videos. One I like, the guy that listens from Peak Prosperity. Check those out. Very level-headed, goes over the facts day by day, and it's very easy to see kind of what's going on in a big picture, even, you know, in layman's terms. But what I want to talk about right now is how you can practically prepare. Ideally, you'd have stuff on hand already. Thankfully, we have a med bag upstairs that has a lot of medical supplies in it, medications, gloves, masks, other tools, blood pressure, just kind of the whole gamut, first aid, some starting to get like light trauma stuff in there. Most of that's in my IFAK. So thankfully we're kind of covered there. I've already had family members contacting me for help finding masks and other supplies and what they should get. And there's lots of great videos out there on it. But at this point, when it comes to the supplies that people are looking for, I mean, even in Hawaii, they're having toilet paper shortages. So that's one thing I ran out and got last night. But sincerely, don't panic, but this is something you should be prepared for. With a very real possibility of being quarantined or needing, you know, I think the big concern is really supply chain interruptions, people not going to work, things of that nature. I mean, who knows? The sky's the limit. It could be nothing, and I pray and hope that it's nothing. But if it's not, you know, I don't know about you, but I've got a family to take care of. And so I want to make sure that we're prepared for what's coming. Now, we've been kind of prepping for a few years. Moving to Montana, while it wasn't our goal to move here for prepping, it is one of the main places that I would feel safe in this country. You know, safe is a hard word to define, but it's someplace I would feel more comfortable. I feel like I'd have a better shot if something ever went down. Just to have a couple of weeks on hand, you know, look at how long China has been in quarantine for, weeks now. Just to have stuff on hand in case you can't get to the store, in case when you do get to the store, there's not much there. Even if you have to ration yourself, Lord knows I could do some rationing, you know, my own health. But sincerely, just to have these things on hand is important. So what I want to do in this video is just show you some of the things that we've gotten to prepare. I'm not trying to flex, it's not that impressive, but I think it's a good start. And I think it'll last us if we had to be here for a couple of weeks without access to a store or other things, or heaven forbid we were sick. So it's late right now. I'm going to try not to talk too loud because I don't want to wake up my family, but I just want to show you a couple things. First thing being this chest freezer. Normally we store regular amounts of food in here, but now we have it, I'm not going to keep it open too long because it'll cool off, or warm up rather. But now we have a lot of frozen food. I mean, it's cheap food, these cheap pizzas. We have burgers, chicken, cheap chicken, you know, stuff that's going to be frozen. Just want to have some sort of meat. Breads, milk can actually store for a little while. Hot dogs, butter, other things. Frozen vegetables. Some of this stuff is like some of our regular food. But I'd say 3/4 of it is something we've just picked up in the past day or two. Just trying to stock up. Again, stuff that can go far. You know, if it got real bad, you know, we could take the bread, make toast, dip it in salad dressing, whatever, you know, bring you back to the college days. But just to have some of this stuff on hand, I mean, this is stuff we already have, like breakfast sausage. But just to have this stuff here, certainly we could probably eat this quick, but rationed out, this would go a long way. And then in these two bins here, we got some pancake mix, rice, beans, just super cheap ramen noodles. I mean, in a pinch, you're gonna have one of these a day, or half, you know, half at a meal, half at another meal. You know, you always want to have some sort of sweet, like a cookie or some chocolate, just to kind of take the edge off if you're hungry at night or just so bored of the food. Just have something. I mean, I'm not talking prepping for 25 years today. I'm talking prepping 2, 3, 4 weeks maybe, just to have this stuff. Rice, stuff to go with the rice, pancake, you know, ready to go, pancake mix, just have to add water. You know, I'm so glad we have a few chickens that are laying eggs regularly, even in the cold, so that we, you know, worst comes to worst, if we had nothing, we at least get 1 egg a day to hold us over. Just cereals and other stuff in here. I've got them in here just in case. I don't think we have any rodents, but I'm just trying to be cautious. I think there were some chips in that one too. This one we've got This one we've got some chips too. Some chips, salt. I know we have sugar. We have what is this? Popcorn, more beans, just stuff like that on sale. Like, I don't even like plain Pringles, like other Pringles, but for 98 cents, had to get them. Granola bars, other things, just to kind of snack. Then we got some oatmeal here, sugar. I bought some coffee, just so we have coffee, you know. Maybe we're not eating good, but a nice cup of coffee can go a long way. I just bought some more ammo. I had been thinking about it for a while, but I figured, you know, I just need to do it. Just trying to spend money on other things right now. But again, this isn't super impressive. But what we've got here is some canned fruit. Kind of mix it up. I mean, again, even if you had to ration this, even if it was rationed, you just had a couple spoonfuls or a bite, or you split, the kids split one. You know, beans. I don't even like this. We eat tuna, but this tuna will store longer in the oil, and it was cheaper. Vegetables, you know, just something. You know, people survive on a lot less than this, sadly, in the world today. This is the biggest jar that they had, but I just got a bunch of jars. Pasta's cheap. Sauce is cheap. You know, gotta have some salsa and chips, right? Just some condiments, you know, to kind of go store it up. That way you've got it. You know, if you have some bread, you can make a mustard sandwich. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy eating, but just to know that you got something to hold you over for those few weeks if something were not to happen. Syrup for those pancakes. We got a couple baby foods, although he doesn't really eat baby food. We make our own baby foods here. But, you know, good to have just in case. These were on sale, just juices. You know, if we go on vacation and they're still here, if coronavirus goes away, we'll take these on vacation this summer. So it's like, we're just putting, we're pulling down our groceries from a couple months in the future till now. Soda, just in case, you know, just stressing out, have a cup of soda. Got some apple juice, we can water that down, make peanut butter and jelly, or jelly, oatmeal. We picked up a bunch of kids' medicine too. Allergy medicine, because, you know, they're my kids, so they have allergies like me. But I thought, you know, we're having mucus. A lot of the symptoms of this is like a cold and mucus and congestion, so get some of that for the kids. I got some other my allergy medicine, ibuprofen, just to have extras. Hand sanitizer, paper towels, toilet paper. Maybe we got food, but we don't got toilet paper. So I got some toilet paper. It's, you know, this will probably not last very long, but it's better than nothing. And so every time we're going to go to the store, we've been trying to do this anyway, but just with the move and everything, we've really kind of slacked, and we went through a lot of our supplies. But we do have some more upstairs that are supplemental, a lot of soups and things. One of the bigger ones to look at here are these food supplies, these 4-week food supplies. These are from My Patriot Supply, I think it was the website, but these are called Ready Hour. And right here, these 2 buckets is 4 weeks, 2,000 calories a day for one person, 25-year shelf life. Same thing down here, it's got 2 of them, right? So I've got a family of 6. I obviously eat a lot, but I can hold that off if I have a little self-control. I have my wife and then 4 small kids. So this right here, 4 weeks for one person. If we ate just this, my wife and I could probably make it last 2 weeks if we had full meals, full caloric intake. The kids probably get this 2 weeks, maybe a week, week and a half, 1 to 2 weeks for the 4 kids. So if we split all these out and if we ration these and we didn't have full caloric intake, we just had a little bit of lunch and a bigger dinner.
Have one shake for breakfast, one shake for lunch, then eat a sensible dinner.
That could last quite a while, quite some time, especially when you start coupling it with other things. We have a can of corn, and then we make one of these and we put them together, or we have a soup, and it's not much. It's not going to be fun. The more we buy, the better we'll be off. But it doesn't take much just to have a little bit peace of mind and a little bit of security. Another thing you might consider is your water. Now we're on a well, so we've got plenty of water. Even if the power totally went out and I couldn't run this on a generator, I could go down to the pond. We have a pond. I get water from there. That wouldn't be ideal. I mean, I'd have to bleach it and boil it and all that stuff. But sincerely, it would be something. If you're on city water, it could be a different story. We just saw in Texas, I think it was Houston, where that 8-10 foot water main broke and the city was without water. The whole city's got to boil water, not go to school, all these things. So a different scenario there, but consider water. You need a gallon. What is it, a gallon a day per person? I think that's even a light measure. That doesn't include washing. That doesn't include cooking. I think that's just straight up drinking. Consider your options for water, tablets, purifying systems, just buying gallons of water. We used to do that when we lived in an apartment in Maryland and in New York. We had gallons of water lined up. So sincerely consider that. But one thing I did, even though we're on a well, see all that sediment? We run through these filters about every 3 weeks. And so I just bought some more. I wouldn't really need one for another 6 weeks or so. I just change it. But I got some more just in case. And I don't know that I'm going to throw them out this time. Maybe I wash them. If I had to reuse them or if I had to stretch it for longer than 3 weeks, I could, but it's something. So another thing you want to consider is heating your home. We have propane. That's our only source of heat in this house. But now I'm thinking about filling up that tank early just in case there are any supply chain disruptions. But to not have that would be very bad because we don't have a backup. I'm not a man of wealth. I'm not poor in my estimation, especially compared to a lot of the world. And you put it in that way, you definitely are wealthy. But we have one income. We have 4 kids. We get by. By the grace of God, we get by. So, this may turn into nothing. It might be a giant nothing burger, and I hope it is. But if not, I see this coming down the road. I see it happening in other parts of the world. To think that it can't happen here would be foolish, right? What about taking some of that grocery budget from the future? What about tightening the belt on other things? Or, just got my tax returns back, using some of that tax return for these things. I can always pay it back. I can always pay myself back. To have these things now, 2 or 3 weeks from now, if things shut down and I have no food, I'm going to be very upset that I cared about $200-300 worth of groceries, right? So with that, I hope this encouraged you. Lots of great resources out there, even FEMA to give you lists for things. FEMA itself is a great resource, but there's tons of great videos, tons of resources out there. Be realistic. You don't need to be buying the heirloom seeds at this point. This is the time to be buying the food that you can stick in the freezer, the food that's going to last you the next month or two, that'll store for 6 months. The pandemic may not blow up for another month, may not blow up for another 2 months. It could take some time, but if it does, and when it does, it can be bad. Even the CDC is telling us that it could be bad. I'm not saying to panic. I'm not saying to lose sleep. I'm sleeping at night. I'm sleeping fine. Sleeping a little better knowing that that's back there. And I'm going to go to the store again this weekend, get a couple more things. When we go grocery shopping this week, get a couple more things. But don't put it off. Don't put it off. The worst case scenario, a couple months from now, you can have a big party, eat 1 million frozen pizzas, and gorge on lima beans. But sincerely, get stuff you like, get stuff you normally buy, you know how to cook, and then get a couple extra items like stuff just that would last, like rice or pasta and other things of that nature. So I hope this video helped encourage you, or at least help you feel like you're not the crazy one when, you know, the rest of the world is walking around with their head in the sand thinking, oh, it can never happen. You know, I'm not crying Chicken Little, but let's be realistic here. Bad things do happen and can happen and are happening in the world right now. And just because we live in America doesn't mean it can't happen here. So may God bless you. Keep standing up for what's right. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one with a cheerier topic.